Hello YouTube, I'm your Huckleberry, and this is the Protech CQC-7. As you can see, they're a Protech automatic and an Emerson design, a very popular Emerson design. Let's get into some specs, shall we? We're looking at about 7.9 inches in overall length with a 3 1/4 inch blade length. The blade stock is going to come in at 0.12 in the thickness there. We do have a 154 cm steel, and it is of course in a tanto blade shape with a chisel grind, as you can see there, chisel ground, and a bead blast finish on that steel there. It does have aluminum handles, and it is an automatic button lock, as you can see there. So you press it to fire, it locks in, and you press it to close it. So there you go. Let's get a weight on this guy. See how much it's going to weigh with the AccuWeight scale. And coming in at about 4.3 ounces. 4.3 ounces. So, you know, not too terrible heavy. Not too terrible heavy at all. And let's do some size comparisons. Let's do our Spyderco sandwich with the PM2 and the Para 3. So, as you can see there, much closer to the PM2. In terms of overall length. Let's get them all lined up there. There we go. So in terms of overall length, it's pretty similar to the PM2, with the PM2 probably being just slightly larger there. And then it is larger than the Para 3. Let's look at it. How about against another Emerson? This is an actual Emerson, made by Emerson knives, the A100. And the A100 is definitely larger there, as you can see, longer in terms of blade and overall length. And let's look at it against the, how about the Hinderer XM18 3 1/2 inch. So just by the name alone, we know that the blade, this is a 3 1/4 inch, this is 3 1/2 inch blade. And so it's a little bit longer blade, a little bit longer overall. But there you go. All right, let's discuss the Protech CQC-7 here. On the positive side, it fires hard. Like most Protech, every Protech that I've ever handled is a very good automatic. It fires hard. I mean, it's if you don't know that it's coming, this is not a knife that you would just hand to somebody. Because if you don't know that when you press that button how hard it's going to fire, it might fly out of your hand. I've seen some Protechs fly out of people's hands who weren't ready for the kick of it. Emerson's Protechs always have really good kick. They fire hard. They know how to make automatic knives and how to make hard firing automatic knives, and they always do a good job with that. And this is no exception. It fires hard. The ergonomics are actually really, really good. I mean, you can see this is my extra large hand here, and it fits in my hand very nicely. A full 4-finger grip with enough to spare there. And you can see that it fits in my hand really well. It feels really, really good in hand. No hot spots. That clip does not cause any kind of hot spot whatsoever. It just kind of really it just fits in the hand really, really nicely. So, I mean, this is an easy knife to use because of the ergos and because of the fit and finish. Protech, again, every Protech that I've ever had has just been quality, and it's had good fit and finish. And again, this is no exception. This Protech has really good fit and finish. No sharp edges anywhere. The clip disappears in your hand, so you don't feel that. It does have kind of that that Emerson, you can see on this one, on my A100, that Emerson type pocket clip. But as you can tell with this one's definitely a deeper carry than this guy here. I mean, this one carries pretty high. You're gonna have all of that sticking out of your pocket there. This one, it fits in the pocket. It rides in the pocket fairly deep. It's not a deep carry clip by any means. You are sacrificing clip position just a touch for lanyard hole position. If it did not have that lanyard hole, I mean, you could move that clip up and pretty much this thing would pretty much disappear in your pocket if you didn't sacrifice clip position for lanyard hole position. But anyway, so there's that. Just a really nice, I mean, it's just, if you've ever handled a Protech, you know what I'm talking about. Protech makes quality knives. They're well made every time. Every Protech that I've ever handled, and I've handled a few, quite a few at this point in my collecting life, shall we say. I've handled quite a few Protechs, and I've been pleased with, I mean, you could just tell every one of them's quality. They don't skimp. I've never had one. I mean, there have been some that I just don't like. They didn't fit my hand or whatever, but as far as just quality and the way it was built, build quality is always top notch when it comes to Protech. I don't ever hesitate to look at any Protech knife because of lack of quality. It's just there. These are also, you do have the bead blast finish here. So now just kind of getting into the negatives. I really don't care for a bead blast finish. I don't know. It's just me. I mean, it didn't look bad here. It's done well. But bead blast, out of all the finishes, you know, stonewash, stonewash like the Hinderer here, coated like the PM2, or even kind of a satin finish like the Endura here. I prefer all those before bead blasting. I don't like bead blast. It's about my least favorite. That's more of a personal thing, but it's just about my least favorite finish. But I will say that the blade is bead blasted, the screws are bead blasted, the button is bead blasted, the clip is bead blasted. So they kept the same finish on all the parts there. And so that's nice. I do like that. I like for all my hardware to match. I like it to have all of it to have the same finish. You know, that's with this Emerson, you know, all the finish, it's coated black. And so, you know, I like that. I like that it's all black coated. I like for the hardware to have the same finish. I just think it helps the uniformity of the knife, and it makes the knife look better when that's the case, and that's the case here. The chisel grind. I don't care for chisel grinds personally. I mean, they're not bad. They're okay. And it's an aesthetic thing with me. It's not so much a practical thing with me. It's more of an aesthetic thing with me. I don't like the way it looks. I just prefer a conventional V grind. This A100 is what they call a V. It's still chisel ground. You can see there by the edge. You can see by the exposed edge. It is still chisel ground, but it does have the V. It is V ground, what they call V ground. This is just, the Protech here is just a straight chisel grind, which is what Emerson has on the majority of their knives. On all their knives, or just about all their knives, I believe. They have a chisel grind. So, you know, Protech was keeping true to the CQC-7 design. But anyway, it's not my favorite. This knife is going to show wear and tear. With the way that they finish their aluminum handles, it's got kind of that matte, it's got a little bit of texture to it finish. So that's going to show wear. You can see there, it's going to show wear. The bead blast, you can see on the blade how it is showing some wear. It's going to show wear. If that's something that you're not, you know, a fan of, beware of that this whole knife, and you can see the clip here, definitely showing some wear. This knife is going to wear. Now, personally, I kind of like wear on a knife, especially, you know, on a user knife. I like wear because it, you know, if you think about I'm a huge fan of Star Wars, and if you think of a lot of the Star Wars aesthetic, you know, yes, it's in the future and it's futuristic, but it's got kind of that dirty, grungy, worn look. I call it the Boba Fett look because, you know, he's kind of all of his stuff is like battle worn. and it's got scratches and scrapes and the paint's worn, and that's what this is going to get. This is going to get Boba Fetted up because of the finishes and the materials that have been chosen here. And so, that can be a con or a plus. It just depends on what you like. But for some people, that's going to be a con. For me, I kind of like that. I kind of like when they get a little bit used up and show some wear. This is going to be a right-hand only knife. The clip is only positioned for right-hand carry. And, of course, it's only right-hand firing here. Opening and closing is what it's set up for. You can do it left-handed. You just use... for me, I just use my pointer finger instead of my thumb. But it is situated for right hand tip-up carry only. So, the 154 cm steel, again, that's one that Emerson uses in most of his knives. A lot of his knives is 154 cm. It's a good steel. Don't get me wrong. It's an all right steel. I believe we're getting to the point where 154 cm may be starting to get a little bit dated, just with the advancements in steels. Like I said, it's gonna be fine. It's a good all-around steel. It's gonna sharpen up relatively easily. It's gonna hold an edge relatively well. It's kind of one of those it's a jack of all trades, master of none. It's not going to perform just super in any aspect, but it's not going to underperform real bad in any aspect, as far as corrosion resistance, edge retention, ease of sharpening, things like that. It's going to be okay. And so, the 154, because this comes in at $165. And so is that an acceptable steel for $165? Yeah, it's acceptable. Protech uses 154 a lot. Emerson uses 154 a lot. So, of course, that's why this one is 154 cm. CPM 154 to me is a step up. It's a powder steel, and so it's a little bit of a step up from 154, but, it's not a bad steel all in all. This is going to be like with most automatic knives, besides a OTF with a switch, when you have a side opening automatic, it's going to be a two-hand close operation. So, you're going to open it one-handed and fine and everything, but you are going to have to close it one-handed or, put it up against your pant leg and close it, something like that is what you're going to have to do. So, automatics were made to be, quick deployment, fast, quick, and easy. But, in reality, I can open and close, the PM2 with one hand. I can open this with one hand, and it's going to open quickly. But, it's going to close two-handed. It's going to be a slower closing motion. So, and with an automatic knife, you are going to have to know your knife laws. Automatics are going to be illegal in quite a few places, especially, really when you're dealing with an automatic knife. In Texas, I'm lucky. I can carry just about everything. Any kind of edged tool that I want to carry, I can carry. I can walk around, with a sword on my back, and and it's legal. So automatic knives are perfectly legal in Texas. Texas is pretty good with their knife laws. But you are definitely going to have to know your knife laws and know if an automatic is even legal. If it is legal, what are the size restrictions? Because like in California, the only way you can have an automatic knife is if the blade is under 2 inches. So, it's just, you have to know your laws when you're dealing with an automatic knife, which is annoying. Because as you and I know, knives are tools, but there are always the sheeple out there who are going to see it as a weapon. And especially an automatic knife, people are going to see that as kind of a weapon because of what they've seen in the movies, with these big automatic stiletto knives that they whip out, to gut somebody in the movies. And so movies have kind of given automatic knives a bad rap. It's just a different deployment method. That's it. I mean, really, the fact that it's automatic doesn't make it any more or less, dangerous. If you're properly using a knife, it shouldn't be dangerous anyway. I don't like saying, dangerous, because, a stick can be dangerous if somebody's determined to use a stick as, a means to hurt somebody else. So anyway, enough of that. Just know your knife laws when it comes to automatic knives, so that you don't get in any kind of trouble. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you very, very much for watching. Please do subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you are notified each and every time I release a new video. I do so appreciate your views and your comments. Please leave them down below. Like or dislike this video, it's okay. Give me your feedback, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Goodbye.